There's an elephant and donkey both on shaky ground, but we got the truth and we gonna shout it loud. From the healthcare to taxes, they can't hide from us. With a wink and a nod, we expose all the fuss. Educating the masses with a smirk on our face, bringing clarity to the headlines in this crazy race. From the White House to your house, we cover it all, putting humor in the facts, we're having a ball. Oh no, America, let's get real and laugh, teaching you the politics with a little bit of sass. Current events and headlines that blow your mind, only on Oh No America you'll find.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I just got down here, and you know what I forgot? I forgot to turn on the lights. Camera action. Here we are. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Woo! Guys, there's a lot going on today. A lot going on. I want to show off something here that just came in the mail. Hi. It's my brand new Oh No America bottle. That's right. Filled with the tears of cis white men, and they are delicious. Refreshing. Refreshing. Okay. Thank you guys for being here. We have some massive, and I do mean massive, Trumpity-dumpity news today. Okay. We'll just start with Trumpity-dumpity. Okay. And then I want to go over some things that I think, we should highlight as a matter of course, because some things happen and they highlight the best of America, right? So let's start here. Let's start here with the Trumpity-dumpity news. Let me pull it up. Here we are. This is from The Hill. All right, by Ella Lee and Zach Schoenfeld. Okay. Judge sentences Trump to unconditional discharge, no punishment in hush money conviction. That's right. President-elect Trump was spared any punishment for his hush money criminal conviction Friday when a New York judge sentenced him to an unconditional discharge, issuing jail time while securing his status as the first person convicted of a felony to assume the presidency. That's right, y'all. America making history again. That's right, y'all. All y'all other democracies, you guys elect upstanding, forthright citizens. Not here in America, baby. That's so last century. Let's get a convict on in there. Woo-woo! Yes! Yes! America! Now, as a convicted felon, this is the one tab I forgot to pull up, y'all, and I'm gonna do that now. Let's just do it live. What rights are restricted when you are a convicted felon? Because this varies from state to state. But there are specific rights that President Trump will no longer have as a citizen of these United States of America. Okay? Most jurisdictions deny convicted criminals specific rights rather than all civil and constitutional rights. The rights most often curtailed include the right to vote and to hold public office. Employment rights. That's right, Donald. You will never again pass a background check because you are a convicted felon. Domestic rights and financial and contractual rights. Interesting. Interesting. Here's the disadvantages of, let's go to the law dictionary. Let's just. Voting, traveling abroad, the right to bear arms or own guns, Jury serves. Oh, sad panda. Donald Trump will never be on a jury, guys. That's what I was hoping for. If I ever went to a jury trial, something real bad happened to me, Donald Trump would be on the jury as someone of my peers. Employment in certain fields. Guys, there are so many jobs that if you are a convicted felon, not only can you not apply, if you somehow did apply, they would throw your application away. They don't even have to consider you for employment. Okay. Public and social benefits and housing. Oh, no. Oh, no. Parental benefits. I mean, his kids are basically all adults. I think Barron's like 16 now or something. Okay. Okay. In addition to losing rights, convicted felons are also required to abide by certain regulations like regular drug screenings and sobriety treatment. Now, I don't know if he's going to get parole. Can you imagine being Donald Trump's parole officer? Okay. Can felons vote? Voting rights for convicted felons varies depending on the state of their residence and incarceration. Let's just check Florida. Traveling abroad, though, just as voting rights vary by state to state, regulations dealing with traveling abroad vary by country. In the United States, if you are a convicted felon because of a drug-related felony, your passport may be revoked while you're serving out your sentence, including probation or parole. So that won't apply to him, okay? It's possible for convicted felons to receive firearm rights, though the process of doing so is easier more so than other states. Gun restoration laws often require a convicted felon either to apply for a felony expungement petition for restoration of firearm rights, receive a governor's pardon, or receive a federal pardon in order to have a right to purchase a gun. Okay? So here's where you get restricted from jobs. Public positions and employment within the U.S. Armed Forces. Well, President Bone Spurs wouldn't be trying to do that anyway. Okay. Law enforcement agencies, nope. Can't work there. Teachers, nope. Child care professionals, nope. And many other jobs that require a professional license. Okay. Convicted felons are not allowed to apply for federal or state grants, live in public housing, or receive federal cash assistance, SSI, or food stamps. That's kind of fucked up. I didn't know that. All right. There you go. There you go. So we have, guys, America has done another first. We gave birth to modern democracy, and now we have given birth to the ultimate loophole, y'all, that if you are under, federal trial for multiple counts, 34 counts he was found guilty on, 34 counts, guilty on all 34 counts. It does not matter. That's the American way. That's the American way. Guys, this is the country we live in. We have our very first convicted felon president entering office, who will be inaugurated now in 10 days. 10 days. 10 days. Let's talk about a president who in my lifetime was the greatest president who ever lived. And if you guys did not see the funeral that was held for President Jimmy Carter, you missed out. Please go to C-SPAN. I'll put the link in the chat. I want y'all to listen now to this man who is Jimmy Carter's grandson, about Mr. Jimmy Carter. Let me bring up the copyright. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. That's when Jimmy Carter was elected and when I was born. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a permitted use by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All rights and credit go directly to its rightful owners. No copyright infringement is intended. This is the lady who escorted them up and down. This is, of course, the Episcopal Church where all the presidents go to pray and and things like that. And this is his grandson, Jason, speaking.
In my church, we sing a song that says, "From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, I will sing of the goodness of God." I don't know how many people in here can say that. I know I can't. But my grandfather certainly can. From the moment that he woke up until he laid his head, his life was a testament to the goodness of God. And I thank all of you for being here to celebrate this life.
That is a very true statement. I've attended Episcopal Church. I've attended Catholic Church. I've attended Baptist Church. And of course, as some of y'all know, the Church of Scientology, which believes in none of these things. I'm not a firm believer in God. But I do believe that Jimmy Carter was, and that every single action that man took, every waking hour of his life was in the service of others.
To the presidents and first ladies, it is a great honor to have you here. You know the human side of the American presidency like no others, and we appreciate you. To the vice presidents, other distinguished guests, and friends of all kinds, thank you for being here. To those of you who came from all across the world, thank you for being here to celebrate and pay tribute to my grandfather. I say grandfather, but we called him Papa, as many of you know. We called my grandmother Mom Carter, so we spent our time talking about Mom and Papa, and mostly, speaking of the human side of the presidency, just letting people know that they were regular folks. Yes, they spent 4 years in the governor's mansion and 4 years at the White House, but the other 92 years they spent at home in Plains, Georgia. And one of the best ways to demonstrate that they were regular folks is to take them by that home. First of all, it looks like they might have built it themselves. Second of all, my grandfather was likely to show up at the door in some 70s short shorts and Crocs.
This description of Jimmy Carter is the greatest thing of all time.
And then you'd walk in the house and it was like thousands of other grandparents' house all across the South. Fishing trophies on the walls. The refrigerator, of course, was papered with pictures of grandchildren and then great-grandchildren. Their main phone, of course, had a cord and was stuck to the wall in the kitchen, like a museum piece. And demonstrating their Depression-era roots, they had a little rack next to the sink where they would hang Ziploc bags to dry.
It's like he's talking about my grandparents' house. Like, it's the same.
And demonstrating that they changed with the times. Eventually, he did get a cell phone, and one time he called me sort of early on in that process. And on my phone, it said, "Papa Mobile." So I answered it, of course. I said, "Hey, Papa." He said, "Who's this?" I said, "This is Jason." He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm not doing anything. You called me." He said, "I didn't call you. I'm taking a picture." Nuclear engineer, right? I mean. They were small-town people who never forgot who they were and where they were from, no matter what happened in their lives. But I recognize that we are not here because he was just a regular guy. As you've heard, from the other speakers, his political life and his presidency for me was not just ahead of its time, it was prophetic. He had the courage and strength to stick to his principles even when they were politically unpopular. As governor of Georgia half a century ago, he preached an end to racial discrimination and an end to mass incarceration. As president in the 1970s, as you've heard, he protected more land than any other president in history. 50 years ago, he was a climate warrior who pushed for a world where we conserved energy, limited emissions, and traded our reliance on fossil fuels for expanded renewable sources. And by the way, he cut the deficit, wanted to decriminalize marijuana, deregulated so many industries that he gave us cheap flights and, as you heard, craft beer.
People like to forget the legacy of Jimmy Carter and the impact that he had in those 4 years that he was president. He did so much for so many people because he loved America and he loved the people of America.
Basically, all of those years ago, he was the first millennial. And he could make great playlists, as we've heard as well. Maybe this is unbelievable to you, but in my 49 years, I never perceived a difference between his public face and his private one. He was the same person no matter who he was with or where he was. And for me, that's the definition of integrity.
That's the definition of integrity that I strive for every day. That I think if we all were a little bit more Jimmy Carter, Willie Nelson, Dolly Parton, this world would be a better place and we would not be having a convicted felon getting inaugurated in 10 days.
That honesty was matched by love, it was matched by faith. And in both public and private, my grandparents did fundamentally live their lives in an effort, as the Bible says, to do justice, love mercy, and walk humbly with their God.
Yes, he did.
Sometimes I feel and felt like I shared my grandfather with the world. Today is one of those days. But really, he shared the world with me. The power of an atom, the beauty and complexity of a South Georgia forest. When we fished, he celebrated the majesty of everything from the smallest minnow to that grand circulation of waters. And he shared this love with my boys, taking these Atlanta public school kids out into the fields to show them about row crops and wild plums. In the end, his life is a love story.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And of course, it's a love story about Jimmy and Rosalind and their 77 years of marriage and service. As the song says, they were the flagship of the fleet.
That is a quote from Jason Isbell.
And rest assured that in these last weeks, he told us that he was ready to see her again. But his life was also a broader love story about love for his fellow humans and about living out the commandment to love your neighbor as yourself. I believe that that love is what taught him and told him to preach the power of human rights, not just for some people, but for all people.
The power of human rights, not just for some people, but for all people. This is makes me mourn for the loss of this man, but more for the loss of someone in power who truly believes that.
It focused him on the power and the promise of democracy, its love for freedom, its requirement and founding belief in the wisdom of regular people raising their voices, and the requirement that you respect all of those voices, not just some.
Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy Carter was the kind of president that wanted to hear what the rich and powerful had to say, the farmer, the street vendor, the customer service agent, the lawyer, the doctor, what all these people had to say equally. None were more important than another.
That conviction made him a naval officer who believed and demonstrated, as you've heard, that the greatest power of America was not the military, but its values. And those values were personal to him, and he lived them both publicly and privately. As you heard Stu say, as president, he gave voice to dissidents, stood up to dictators, brought countries together in peace. His heart broke for the people of Israel. It broke for the people of Palestine, and he spent his life trying to bring peace to that holy land. And he talked about it at the dinner table. It was the same in public as it was in private.
Being the same that you are with your family, that you are in a public stage, is very important. It's empirically important to me. And I don't know of any other politician who can say that they held that true through their whole life.
And for the last 40 years, as you've heard, he spent his time living out that love and that faith alongside the poorest and most marginalized people in the world. And that work, again, has been based fundamentally on love and respect.
And what he's talking about there is the fact that he never stopped ever going to Habitat for Humanity and building homes for people. That was something that he did, I don't know, every week. Even after he fell and was injured, there's pictures of him bruised and bandaged, still out there in his 90s, building homes for people who had none.
The Carter Center has 3,500 employees, but only a couple hundred in the United States. The rest are spread throughout the countries where we work: Ethiopia, South Sudan, Chad, Bangladesh. And all of the Carter Center's programs are based on a respect, that same respect for the power of regular people, even if they are in tiny villages miles from anywhere else. To give one example, we've all heard a lot lately about guinea worm disease. It's an ancient and debilitating disease of poverty, and that disease will have existed from the dawn of humanity until Jimmy Carter. When he started working on this disease, there were 3.5 million cases in humans every year. Last year, there were 14. And the thing that's remarkable is that this disease is not eliminated with medicine.
Did you guys hear that? Jimmy Carter's work eliminated a disease on planet Earth.
It's eliminated essentially by neighbors talking to neighbors about how to collect water in the poorest and most marginalized villages in the world. And those neighbors truly were my grandfather's partners for the last 40 years. And as this disease has been eliminated in every village in Nigeria, every village in Sudan or Uganda, what's left behind in those tiny 600-person villages is an army of Jimmy and Rosalind Carters who have demonstrated their own power to change their world. And that is a fundamental truth about my grandfather. It begins where it ends. When he saw a tiny 600-person village that everybody else thinks of as poor, he recognized it. That's where he was from. That's who he was.
The fact that he was able to get that information into the hands of those villagers and help them spread that information village to village to village throughout those countries so that those people who live in those tiny villages can all survive. Because clean water, as Tazzy said, it is life. Water is life. He was not a magician. You know, he just helped people because they needed the help. He didn't do it to put his name in big, gaudy brass letters, to own it, as our incoming president has done on countless dilapidated and decrepit buildings. Jimmy Carter did what he did out of love.
And he never saw it as a place to send pity. It was always a place to find partnership and power, and a place to carry out that commandment to love your neighbor as yourself. Essentially, he eradicated a disease with love and respect.
That is incredible. And I don't know anyone else, living or dead, who can say that.
He waged peace with love and respect. He led this nation with love and respect. To me, this life was a love story from the moment that he woke up until he laid his head. Conclude with this. As Andy Young told me, he may be gone, but he's not gone far. The outpouring of love and support that we have felt from you and from around the world has shows how many lives he has touched and how his spirit will live on in many ways for us. He'll be in the kitchen making pancakes, or in his wood shop finishing a cradle for a great-grandchild, standing in a trout stream with Mom Carter, or for me, just walking those Georgia fields and forests where he's from. Thank you.
It makes me so sad to see the beautiful human being that, through a firestorm of lies, manipulation, political conquest, backdoor deals, how he was treated as president, how he was dismissed by his own party. And what was given birth to in the wake of Jimmy Carter, because during Jimmy Carter's presidency, y'all have to remember that that was the birth of the Heritage Foundation, the Christian group that did not want to create more Jimmy Carters of the world, to continue Jimmy Carter's mission of love and peace and respect for people, but instead gave birth to Ronald Reagan and trickle-down economics and Poppy Bush and his 10,000 points of light. Bush Jr., you know, and Donald Trump. The Heritage Foundation and all those other small Christian groups are the exact opposite of what a Christian guideline for love, hope, peace is. Jimmy Carter not only said the words out loud, but he walked the walk every single day of his life. And now, on the eve of his passing, in just less than 2 weeks, we are going to inaugurate a convicted felon, a known sex offender, someone who has multiple bankruptcies on their record, a failed businessman, a philanderer, a man who has married 2 foreigners and has himself produced 4 anchor babies in this country. All the things that, MAGA and everything rails against and claims to want to be the difference, the opposite of, they want freedom from all these things. Donald Trump has committed so many of those things. Now, don't forget that MAGA is in a war with itself right now. It was a MAGA terrorist who blew up a Tesla in front of a Trump property as a message to Donald. This is our country. Okay? This is our country. We tell you what to do. We tell you what we want. Not the shadow president, Elon. Trump is the literal exact opposite of Jimmy Carter. He is the upside down version of Jimmy Carter. Because what he inspires in other people is hate and vitriol and violence. He does not inspire love, respect, compassion, partnership. None of those things. Now, I want to show you a couple other clips here, y'all, that I find significantly just of paramount importance, okay? There is someone that I follow here on the YouTubes, which I introduced you guys to before. His name is Pastor Ben, but also it's the Benjamin Dixon Show. He put out a short the other day that I wish I knew what the whole thing was from, but I want to show you all this short. This to me, this is my response. I echo this response in these times that we're coming into.
The fascism you're saying? Yo, come get me first. That's the response. Come get me first. Donald Trump, MAGA, Jack Posobiec, who thinks people are unhuman, InfoWars, War Room, all of them. I think the correct response is to be the first volunteer. I volunteer as tribute. If you're going to come after somebody, come after me. If you're going
Yes.
to arrest somebody, arrest me. We have to put ourselves on the line. And this is not hubris. This is because I have children. I have 2 sons and a daughter. I'm most fearful for my daughter because she will be growing up in a generation where they think women are property.
This was a sign. This was a protest, a picture of a protest that occurred immediately the day after Donald Trump was elected president.
No, if this thing falls, and if my children have to grow up in a post-apocalyptic fascist society, I want them to know that their dad died or is in prison to try to stop it from happening. Correct response to fascism, you're saying?
Yes, that is the correct and only response to fascism, in my personal opinion. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you, Pastor Ben. And Benjamin Dixon Show, if y'all aren't subscribed. Now, something else happened that I'm very enthusiastically a supporter of, and I want to show y'all what happened here. Here we go.
I don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald.
This is how to get in shape fast.
Oh,
If you want to
sorry,
drop
guys.
this,
I
start eating more.
have the paid premium on my other channel, and then I don't have it here, so I'm going to get an ad.
Of these. You might think this would take
Dr.
years.
Drew, fuck
I
off.
don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province.
This woman is my fucking hero. Please adopt me. And yes, to your proposition, I will learn French. Poutine, put it on everything. I love it. Please.
How about it?
Who knew Canadian politics would be so fun? I think I.
Don't talk over her. I just want the clip of her.
No, sorry. And I really also take offense, sorry, Mr. Trump, took offense to your idea that Pierre Poilievre wasn't good enough to lead the Conservatives. Wayne Gretzky, I mean, he's great. He is the great one. He skates to where the puck is going. It's not going to MAGA. The puck is on a Canadian ice rink. And by the way, Mr. Trump, please, before making public pronouncements that Wayne Gretzky should run for prime minister, give yourself or get yourself a briefing on the nature of parliamentary democracy, a Westminster parliamentary system, and a constitutional monarchy where no one runs for prime minister.
The fact that not only we have a convicted felon for president, but he doesn't know that Canada is part of the British monarchy and they do not hold elections for prime minister is so sad.
We have elections for members of parliament. We don't get to pick and choose among our billionaire friends for who gets a seat at the cabinet table. If they're not an elected member of parliament, well, Canadian system is different from that of the United States of America. I suggest that Mr. Trump find one of his grandchildren's school books and look at the year 1776, which may explain a few things to him about why our systems of government are different.
Like, y'all, Canada fought for England because they're part of England. Anyway, moving on.
I don't want to belittle Mr. Trump, but on the other hand, hey, Donald, have we got a deal for you? You think we want to be the 51st state? Nah, but maybe California would like to be the 11th province. How about it? California? Oregon? Washington?
Yes, take us.
You've got geography in common with us. And not only that, we've already got a carbon trading system between California and Quebec. We've got some strong alliances on our west coast from British Columbia. There's been a lot of academic papers on the idea of Cascadia. So California.
I vote yes to Cascadia. I vote now. I'll build the wall. I will build it. I will start it right now. This is Canada.
Governor Newsom and Washington State, Jay Inslee, and newly elected governor of Oregon, Tina Kotek. How about it? Want to put a referendum to your citizens? Because this is what you deal. Have we got a deal for you? This is what you get. Free health care. Universal free health care. No more one-year-olds who suddenly fall off the Medicaid list and their parents are in the news because they're trying to do a GoFundMe so they can get their daughter to a doctor. universal free healthcare. And guess what? Those gun laws that your Congress is too afraid to pass because of the national gun lobby, we already got our strict gun laws.
I want
That's
it.
why we have the safest streets around the world.
I want
Or
it.
at least in the United States, by the way, the most recent stats, 5.9 out of every 100,000 people is killed in a fatal gun incident versus
Do you guys hear that statistic?
0.88 per 100,000 in Canada. That's
Please, take us now. Take my family and I. Volunteers tribute.
because we have strict gun laws. California citizens, Oregon, Washington, safer streets. Here we already have good gun laws,
We'll
and
take
women
it.
have a right to an abortion under our universal health care system. But, we don't have to stop there. Donald, think about it. You could get rid of all these states that always vote Democrat. You know what else will take Bernie Sanders off your hands? Proud new Canadian citizen of the great province of Vermont. Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine. We'd love to see you. Our maritime provinces already have deep, deep links and ties. Well, enough kidding around. But honestly,
I'm not kidding. We're not kidding, lady. You made us an offer. We say yes. No takebacks. No takebacks.
President Trump, get used to it. Canada is a sovereign nation full of, guess what? Proud Canadians. We're not jingo.
Proud Canadians. Like Ryan Reynolds. I want to be besties with Ryan Reynolds and Nickelback. I love Nickelback. And Wayne Gretzky. I want all of that. Please. Seriously, I accept.
Egoistic. We don't boast a lot. That's one of the things we kind of have in common with Jimmy Carter. We're not a big nation.
Yeah, it's true.
For braggarts and bullies. We actually like to think we're of service in the world.
Yeah. Please, I want to go to there. I want you to take us. Oh, Canada. I love maple syrup. Please.
We could do better. We can always do better. But we love our country. And it's a country. It's a nation. And we do not aspire to be a 51st state. So let's not hear that anymore. If it was a joke, it was never funny. And it ends now.
Powerful.
Please, someone put her in touch with all of the people of the states that she mentioned, because we all say yes. Can Canada make that real? Trudeau, I know you're leaving, but can you make it real? Can you? I want to be in the 11th province. Please. It's making me sad to think that that's not real. Like literally half of Oregon wants to go be part of Idaho. Bye. Goodbye. Go. The same thing with like the weird part of California and Redding and all them. You guys join Idaho. Okay. Goodbye. And Western Washington. Bye. And then the rest of us will in this little sliver of hope. We will be the proud 11th province of Canada. Please. We will take it. And it's not just about the free healthcare. I will go build that wall, that border, so high. So high. My God. Don't give me hope like that and then take it away. Oh, God. Oh, man, guys, man. That lady was hilarious, though. That lady was hilarious. I fucking love her. I'll learn about your parliamentary system and your elected MP, all of that. All of that. Okay? Like, let's do it. I will watch hockey nonstop. What does it take? What do I have to do to be Canadian? I mean, yes, I'm with you, Aubrey. I'll learn the metric system. That shit's easy. Count by tens. I got it. I'm going kilometers. I'm not going miles. We'll just look at the other part of the dial. I'll do it. Whatever you want. Take us. Take us now. Take us now. Yeah, you know Trump he's going to come up with some horrific nickname for her and try to just like, you know, I don't know. He's going to do something stupid. You know he's going to. You know he's going to, guys. But listen, our justice system worked. He got convicted. Okay? There's still more cases pending. You know? 10 days, guys. 10 days. 10 days for democracy. None of us know what's going to happen. We're reading Project, 2025. And it's frightening. We have 10 days. Until everything changes, guys. Take these next 10 days to prepare yourself. Okay? The people of Los Angeles and Southern California were in no way prepared for these fires that are devastating, and I do mean devastating everything down there. It is terrible to watch what is happening there. It is absolutely frightening. Let me pull that up here just for all of y'all in Southern California. You can get the app, which is the one that I'm pulling up right now, which is Watch Duty. Okay. You can get it on your phone. I have it on my phone because I'm watching all these fires like a hawk. My cousin lives in this area. My mom lives to the west of that. Several of my friends live here. As you can see, these are the fires that are ongoing right now. It's gone down into Mexico. Actually, this is Mexico here. This is San Diego. I take that back. So this is the Mission Fire. And the thing that's great about this website, if you go to app.watchduty.org, if you click on the fire itself, it gives you information. It doesn't get updated every hour. It doesn't get updated every 10 minutes. So you have to refresh it constantly. But the forward progress, the most important piece of information here, forward progress has been stopped on that. It's burnt 3 acres. The club fire, this was updated a minute ago. This is a brand new fire. So they don't have any information on that. Okay. Over here we have the Kenneth Fire, which has got 50% containment going on. The forward progress was stopped. That is very good. The Palisades Fire that has essentially eaten all of Pacific Palisades is inching its way into Malibu and other areas. Literally right now, it's done. It's burnt 21,317 acres, and they are at 8%. I'm going to move myself here because y'all can't see because my face is in the way of the statistics. There we go. They are at 8% containment. Okay. There are still active evacuation orders all around this area. If you are in those areas, please take that very seriously. Oops. There we go. Fixed it. Fixed the null post. Okay. If we go over here to the Eaton Fire, this is above an area known as Altadena, the upper area of Pasadena, Altadena, Sierra Madre. I used to live basically right here. Okay. When I lived in Sierra Madre, I'm going to show you guys right there. That was my house. When I was pregnant with my second son, I saw this same exact hillside burning just like this in 2008. This is horrific. Yes, I'll look down at Redondo Beach. 1 second. This is burnt 13,956 acres, 3% containment. 5 people have already died from this fire that has been reported. Let me go down to Redondo Beach, okay? This whole area is under red flag warning. The white, there's no warning going on in the Los Angeles area, okay? Let's go down to the beach. Here's Long Beach, Seal Beach, Huntington. Redondo is down here. Let's zoom in more. Okay, but the beach areas right now, there are no fires going on there, okay? So if any of y'all have friends in these beach areas, they are okay. I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to go up the coastline here. Oh, here's Redondo. Redondo is okay. Okay, Redondo is all right. That's right. Redondo is just north of the airport, or south of the airport. This is the airport here, Los Angeles International Airport, and you have Manhattan Beach, Redondo Beach, etc. Okay. Now, where we get into the danger zone is just further up here. Okay. This is Santa Monica. Right here. This is the Santa Monica Beach. And if you were to drive along Pacific Coast Highway, which is this small, tiny little strip of land here, there is nothing left. All these homes here, gone. All these businesses, gone. 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 This is Malibu. Gone. Okay. This is the west part of Malibu, but this is considered like LA. Here's like downtown Malibu. Okay. I've swum in the Malibu Lagoon. Okay. This whole area is under not an evacuation order yet, but as you can see, the fire has spread all the way here. Okay. This is the Malibu Riviera. Right. And if you keep going up the coast, you get here. This is a naval base in Port Hueneme. Okay. And then you get in, this is the town, Port Hueneme, not Hueneme, Port Hueneme. And you have Oxford, Camarillo. They had a big fire over here a couple weeks ago, huge fire. And Ventura, where I moved to Oregon from. Okay. Most of this out here, as you zoom in a little bit, is a lot of farm. This is where a majority of America's strawberries are grown, right here. Okay. Pepperdine itself, because as you drop into Malibu, let's find Pepperdine on the map. Let's find Pepperdine. This is Malibu High School. I think it's the other way. Let me look. Let me look on Google Maps. Okay, so Pepperdine is right. Okay. So it's right before you get to the curve in Malibu. So let's go back and let's zoom out. What street is it off of? There it is there, but you get to it from John Tier. Oh, it's on the other side. On the other side. There's Pepperdine. That is where they're at right now. They are that close to the fire. There is the fire. There is Pepperdine. They are in danger. If you know someone who's a Pepperdine student, faculty, anything like that, they need to get out. They need to not be there. Riverside? Yes. Let's head on out to Riverside. So there's Rancho Cucamonga. Okay. Everywhere out here is under red flag warning. But there are no fires burning out here right now in Riverside County. Okay. No fires out in Palm Springs. Okay. Just red flag warning because the Santa Anas are still blowing. Everything is a tinder box. Everything is a tinder box right now, literally, because it is so dry in Southern California. They have not gotten rain rather, for so long. The one furthest south here is in Orange County is the club fire. That one just started. As y'all can see, this is in Mission Viejo area, Aliso Viejo, just above Laguna Beach. Okay, Ladera Ranch area, Laguna Hills. If you guys are familiar with Orange County, this is like the heart of Orange County here. So if we zoom in further, we can see that this is happening outside of these residences where it's being reported. And hopefully, fire departments are going to have enough resources to get out there quickly and get on top of that fire. It is really, really vital. The air quality, the Lydia fire is almost out. 75% containment on that one. Okay. The Hearst fire, which was a huge one, that was like one of the first fires. That one has only burned 771 acres, and it is at 70% containment. This little guy right next to it, the Archer fire, is still going, but it's much smaller. Here is a picture that was sent in. You know, you can upload pictures, so you can see now that whole hillside that burnt and where the smoke has settled. There. Some of the fires get pictures and things like that. Some don't. Okay. We went over that one already. So that's, yeah. The two that are raging out of control right now are, of course, the Eaton fire here, and the Palisades fire. And just for reference, this is Glendale, California. Okay. We just saw the Rose Bowl played, right? We just saw the undefeated Oregon Ducks get their booties handed to them at the Rose Bowl, which was insane. But that is how close, y'all, the Rose Bowl is to this fire. Just to give you a point of reference. This fire has burnt that much. It is creeping down. There are whole neighborhoods here. This is Altadena, gone. Okay. In these areas here, it's very hilly, and this whole hillside and everything else is filled with sagebrush. Sagebrush, if y'all have never seen it, it's these little scraggly, stupid fucking little bushes. The worst part about sagebrush, y'all, is that when it burns, it is oily. It fills the air with an acrid oil that stings your lungs and your eyes and does not wash off your clothes easily. No, whoa, I zoomed out on the wrong thing. Good grief, Nora, get it together. Let's go to Northridge. So Northridge is over here. of course, famous. Here's Burbank, and here's the whole Northridge area. The closest fire to Northridge would have been this one here, the Kenneth Fire, which has 50% containment, and they have, no more forward progress. It's not moving any further. Okay. There's Simi Valley. There's nothing going on there. Okay. The entire valley right now, what people call the Valley, Van Nuys, Reseda, Tarzana, no fires in there. Okay. No fires in Burbank or Glendale. Okay. Yeah. So there you go. There you go. So just, if y'all have friends, family members, anything in Los Angeles, please check in on them. Please let them know they're loved. Yeah, it's wild, wild times there. Wild times. I have the app on my phone. I just got an update about what's going on right now with the Palisades fire. There's another little run of fire that's going up a specific road there. So it is not good. Let's get to your questions and comments here, y'all. Sage wants to know, does this mean he cannot go to other countries on government appearances? Well, if people are following the laws, that would technically mean he'd have to, only if it's on certain charges. I think he's going to, they're going to put him on Air Force One. He's going to go wherever he wants. Now, can other countries restrict his access because he's a convicted felon? They sure can. They sure can. Emily, you asked a question. Where is it? All right, let's get to comments here. Yeah, don't get me started, Beth. And yet Martha Stewart went to jail for insider trading for not even that much. Don't get me started. Don't get me started. World Food Kitchen doing great work in LA. Chef Jose. Yes, if you guys don't know what the World Food Kitchen is, this man is a fucking saint in real life. Chef Jose reminded Trump that if he needs to keep on helping, even after the cameras have gone elsewhere. Correct. There are some countries that will not grant a visa to a felon. I hope they stick to their guns more than our justice system does. I would love to see that. I would love to see him denied entrance into countries because he's a convicted felon, which he is. And there's nothing. What is he going to He's going to pardon himself from the conviction? I don't think he can. It's a federal conviction. The White House is public housing. This is correct. And he should not be eligible to live there. Yeah. Eugene V. Debs should have been respected instead of vilified. Now, I'm going to have to look up that case. I don't know what that is. You don't want him there in Australia? Okay. How about me? Can I go to there? God. Totally agree with you. Jimmy Carter was a sweet man. Yes. Oh, please. Oh, goodness gracious. We're going to bring this up. Good God. People have no low. People have no low when it comes to the BS that they will try to put out there. Okay. I'm going to get to that in a second. Thank you to people texting me things in the middle of my show. Someone showed me that Jimmy Carter, when he was in the Navy, he lived in your hometown. Oh, in your hometown? There you go. Narragansett beer. is a making of a special blend of their... Okay, I don't know how to say that properly. I will have to try that. Yeah, I love Pastor Ben too. Listen, guys, I don't go to church, but I would go to his church. Okay? Right? You have your own version of poutine there in New England? Okay. Okay. Yeah, no, he wanted to take the whole country. He wanted to take Canada. That's not cool. Can you imagine? Can you imagine England's like, sure, we'll sell you Canada? Like, they're not going to do that. We love hockey, yes. Yeah, yeah. She called New England. We call the 12th province. Yeah. Listen, I'm here for becoming part of the Commonwealth. I'm for it. I will fly that Union Jack everywhere. I'll get a fucking tattoo. I'll be the 6th Spice Girl. I'm on it. Now, I don't know if this is true or not, but also Greek people don't like gay people a lot. So I don't think I want to go to there, but I might be able to do that. It's we've been having a hard time finding our grandpa's family because I think they all died in the Turk-Ottoman War. So people might be, well, that's nice for you. Right? I'm going to use that metric system. Centimeters for everyone. Girl, I am breathing. I'm breathing in and out every day. Right? We'll all. You can't go for the Montreal Canadiens, bitch. I'm a Toronto Blue Jays fan now. Like, for real, anything, whatever you want. So they have been. There was a youth detention center that was at risk, Emily, and they moved the youths. As far as I know, I don't know where they moved them to, but they had made that announcement early on, I believe, with the Hearst fire. Yeah, they have to move those people. They can't just leave them there to fend for themselves during a fire. That would be, I don't want to imagine that. Okay. Like, I would love it up here in Canada. You have metastatic thyroid cancer. Oh my God. I am so sorry. Surgery, medication, radioactive iodine treatment costs me $0. Wow. Yeah, but that's what your taxes go to. It goes to you. Ontario's the best place to live in Canada. Okay. If it's at a state case level, he cannot pardon himself. All right. You got tons of Greeks in Regina? I'm going. Let's go. Let's do it. Okay, so it's come up in the comments that the great commentator of filth and idiocracy, Charlie Kirk, has had something to say about these California fires. Of course, brought to you by Shen Yun, a cult kicked out of China that replaced its, just moved its operation to America to continue their cultiness because cults in America have more rights than citizens. Okay, here we go. What the frack is going on with Charlie Kirk?
Are happening.
It turns out when you need to fight a fire, it doesn't matter if your fire chief is gay, black, lesbian, trans. It matters whether or not you have a capable firefighting force.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And they have intentionally tried to drive out all of the white people from the firefighting force in Los Angeles. Oh, we don't need white men to fight fires. I actually think Democrats believe.
So he's taking a picture of 3 decorated, high-ranking firefighters, one of whom I'm going to just use my lesbian dar and say she's one of me. And maybe the African-American lady too, but I'm not going to assume. And he's going to shame these women because they run into burning buildings when he would not.
That lesbians or gays have like some sort of magical superpower to stop fires.
I'm sorry, do we? If we do, I will run to Southern California right now and stop those fires.
We can't put out the fire because guess what? When you start to prioritize diversity and sexuality over merit, things tend to not go well.
That's straight out of Project 2025, y'all. We read all that part. We read that whole thing about how everything needs to be merit-based and not based on sexuality. How do you think those women got into firefighting? Through their fucking merit, you fucking asshole. Women have been clawing their ways into professions, being 10 times as good as the men who are just walking in and getting offered the job, having to prove their mettle far more times than any man who's fighting those fires beside them. And the reason why the firefighters can't get these fires under control is because there's lesbians on the firefighting force. Is this real life? But guys, this is a preview. This is a motherfucking preview of what is coming to be in the next 10 days. Everything that goes wrong is going to be vilified and blamed on people of color, gays. If there's an earthquake, I'm sure our gay superpowers caused that. Was too much jubilation from the gay bars. Caused the earth to shake. Too many backyard barbecues by people of color. Burnt it all down. Prepare yourselves, guys. Prepare yourselves. Okay? Prepare yourselves for the next 10 days.
So I dispute the fact that gays and lesbians do not have magical powers.
Me too.
To fight fires. We do. Everyone knows it. It's common knowledge. What I don't understand, I don't understand this idea. So they showed a picture of 3 lesbians there. Now, I'm not going to get into the fact that if you want a job done well, you should go find a lesbian.
Like, for real. Like, if you want somebody who's not going to give up, who's going to keep at it until you are satisfied, until you are fulfilled, until it is perfect, until you feel great about it, get yourself a lesbian.
These are, not magical, but like, generally good at stuff. I would trust a lesbian to fix it, just about anything. But why is Charlie Kirk so mad that the fire chief in LA is a lesbian? Because the last time I checked, the fire chief didn't set the fire.
No, absolutely. No setting of fires. No setting of fires by the any fire personnel.
The fire chief, I don't even think that the criticism right now is that the fire department's doing a bad job. Like, I think that people are feeling taken care of by the fire department. These are people who are putting their lives on the line.
Yep.
These are people who are running a massive operation.
Who's mad at firefighters right now? Except for Charlie Kirk. Like, literally.
Been trying to separate fact from fiction in this story. There's a lot of things coming out saying that the fire department's been underfunded. Then there's like some other ones that say, actually, no, they were funded. I don't know about all that. And the fact is, it is amazing to me how everybody has suddenly become an expert on the LA California wildfires. Like, is it climate change? Is it the smelt?
Right? Everyone's an expert, yet nobody is doing anything about it.
Is it Gavin Newsom? I don't know. Here's what I do know. I know it is wild to, while homes are burning, sit around and look for villains who are just people who politically you disagree with.
Right? How dare you, Charlie Kirk? How dare you vilify firefighters? What the fuck is wrong with you?
And so it's not just the lesbians he's mad at.
I don't know about that. I mean, lesbians do everything better than him. Not just the sex.
Right? He also says it's just woke ideology. Woke ideology is the whole reason that these fires are happening. Let's listen.
Did anyone check the water levels? This is not complicated stuff. You do not need a PhD in astrophysics.
First of all, astrophysicists don't do calculations about water levels. It's the wrong science.
To figure this out, do we have water levels? Do we have firefighters that aren't lesbian by the name of Kristen?
What? Do we have water levels? The problem, sir, is that Southern California is under a severe drought, and people are allowed to water their lawns 24 hours a day, even when it's raining, which I think should be fucking criminal. Okay? People are allowed to have lawns in Southern California, which is also criminal. Grass is not native to California. It should be eliminated. No one should have a fucking lawn. Make sure there's no lesbians named Kristen. Is Kristen Stewart the only lesbian that you can think of?
Do we have the ability to respond to tragedy? Did we?
Well, when you cut their funding by $170 million, it's really hard for them to do that, don't you think?
Clean up the brush. This is the embodiment of left-wing ideology. This is the manifestation of the woke. You can't put out fires. You got a black woman mayor in Ghana. You got 3 lesbians.
A black woman mayor in Ghana. What? First of all, this man cannot even comb his own hair. Look at him. He's got the Eddie Munster going on here because he's balding so badly. And then what is this? He just woke up. He just woke up and showed up for his show. This man has the weakest chin on planet Earth, and he wants to try and take on some lesbians. Is he crazy? There's 2 things in the world that you do not call out violently, okay? One is the Hells Angels. The other is lesbians. Charlie Kirk, you've been warned. You've been warned.
Lesbian fire chiefs on the name of Kristen. This is peak woke.
I didn't understand why we were so mad about people named Kristen. But he's still on the lesbian thing. It is still the fault of lesbians that this is happening. It's about woke ideology. I gotta say, there is no evidence. 0. I mean, this Kristen.
Lesbians named Kristen, please unite. Listen, Kristen, you specifically here in the chat, I say we get together with the other Kristens and all of the Jen lesbians and all of the Stacy lesbians, and let's show them. Let's show them what butchy lesbians are made of. He's very intimidated. He's very scared. Lesbians. I personally believe there's only one reason. Now, this has nothing to do with politics, but I personally believe there's only one reason men like Charlie Kirk are afraid of lesbians. Okay? And that's because they are terrible in the bedroom. They do not know how to deliver upon their intimate female partner what is known as an orgasm. And the fact that lesbian sex could be entered in as an Olympic sport, it would absolutely be the hardest sport to compete in. Yeah, these men are so fragile, so terrified of the female orgasm that they must eliminate their true competition, not other men, the lesbian.
There's like a lot. This was funny to me, actually, that they were all named. They were all vaguely named Christina.
Of course they were.
Kristen Crowley, who is the fire chief of the
Look at
LA
her.
Fire Department,
Go,
has
girl.
been with it for 22 years.
22 years, you little weak-chinned bitch, Charlie Kirk.
She was promoted through the ranks. She was a paramedic. She was an engineer. She was a fire inspector, a Captain 1, Captain 2, battalion chief, assistant chief, chief deputy, and fire chief.
Like, is there a position? Kristen didn't want one position. She wanted all positions.
There's not any evidence that she got this job because she's a lesbian. There's also
for 20 years, bitch. I'm sure there was many of those years where she had to be in the closet and just say she was living with her roommate.
no evidence that she's doing a bad job right now. So like, I don't know why he's like freaking out about this. Yeah. Also apparently firefighters do have to be white. I think that there's, again, without evidence whatsoever, the problem seems to be that there are not enough white people fighting the fires.
Why do they have what? Because the fire is like, oh, you're black? You can't put me out. Like, as if the fire is like, oh, I'm sorry. Is that an Asian firefighter? Is this a joke? Who brought an Asian to the firefight? No, the fire doesn't care what nationality you are. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of, Charlie Kirk.
Now, I think white people can be excellent firefighters, but I have also seen no evidence that black people cannot also be excellent firefighters.
Correct. What the fuck?
But Charlie Kirk apparently seems to know something different.
Well, that's because he's only watched Backdraft. And if you remember the movie Backdraft, right? It's got one of the Baldwin brothers. It's got, Harry McGee, who's married to Goldie Hawn. Kirk, I'm only thinking of Kirk Douglas, and that's not who it is, right? Backdraft. It's all white dudes with a lot of bravado. That's what he thinks firefighting is, backdraft.
So I guess, I mean, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Am I trying to argue with Charlie Kirk? I'm not really. I do want you guys to see, because this is all the rage. Like the pictures of all the Christines, Christine. There's just like a picture of them from 2016 that's being widely.
Kurt Russell, thank you. They just can't get over 3 powerful lesbians. Look at them. Gaze upon their glory. Now, how many people have these 3 power dykes saved? Hundreds? Thousands? How many people have you saved, Charlie Kirk? None.
Circulated by everybody being like, these are the people fighting the fires. How can LA survive when 3 lesbians are,
Trust me, all of LA wants all of the lesbians fighting the fires. Home Depot is throwing equipment at the lesbians and saying, please go fight the fires. Okay. LA loves lesbians.
is like the HR person. Okay. She's not fighting the fire. I don't think that it's that big a deal. The rest of them guys are all men. Plenty of them white. But you're right. Some of them are black and Hispanic. And so how will we put the fires out? I just don't know. Okay. And then he goes on to say, because these people donated to Biden and Kamala Harris.
Now where they put their donations, the people who lost everything, towns that are complete ashes.
They advocated for their own destruction.
I'm going to take a deep breath and have a drink of water while we listen to this ridiculousness.
No one deserves to suffer because of their politics. However, if you...
There should be no... That should have been the end of your sentence, Charlie. That should have been... Period. Look, guys, look at the devastation that he is mocking. Please look to the picture at the right. Okay, that is absolute destruction. It is a horror movie. It is an apocalyptic fucking view, and this is what he's thinking about. However,
you have voted a certain way.
Finally, homemade Manjaro makes your pants drop in just 1 week. I've developed a
I don't even know what to say about this inappropriate ad and talking about my pants dropping.
Combined. That's
I'm
right.
sorry. Next time I'm going to go to my account with the premium.
Another one of those.
This is what you wanted. This used to be a conservative area back in the 1950s.
Conservatism and liberalism do not fight fires and fight Mother Nature. Mother Nature, Earth, does not care about your political beliefs. Look at the destruction, Charlie. Look at it.
8 out of 10 of those houses you're seeing are left-wing Democrats. 8 out of 10.
So they deserved it? They deserved to lose every single thing?
And that's a tragedy. They don't deserve it. They're American citizens. They deserve.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad a fucking liberal is still an American citizen.
Deserve help. But they advocated for this. They donated to Joe Biden.
Oh, now it's Joe Biden's fault. Guys, did you know Joe Biden has been running around in his 86-year-old body that he just shuffles everywhere, setting fires? What the fuck?
They raised money for Kamala Harris. And this is why politics matters. And this is why when these pastors and these good-for-nothing people will come up to me, oh, Charlie, I'm tired of politics. Well, if you don't get politics right, you don't have a home.
Literally.
What? What would your propositions have been that would have been different to put the water in the ground that did not fall from the sky, Charlie? Are you going to make water fall from sky? Are you what? What?
I guess. If you vote wrong and your home burns down, I do like how he's like, I'm not saying anybody deserves to suffer, but they deserve this. They deserve this. So I don't think his what is that? What is it when you his preemptive, his like little preamble there of saying that he certainly doesn't want anything bad to happen to these people. I'm not sure.
Except for he's hella
happy.
happy.
True, actually, based on what he's actually saying.
Oh no, he's delightfully gleeful that possibly some libs were owned by fire. Yeah, this is true. Remember when she said there was Jewish space lasers? I bought a patch that said this is Jewish space laser. She was like, "There's Jewish space lasers." Like, these people are so fucking stupid. This is just the stupidest thing. No one deserved to have their house burn in this fire. Love you too, Kristen. It's all good. I literally cannot. I literally cannot.
Yeah. Okay. So the last clip I want to show you is Charlie Kirk, who often has the president's ear, ran his ground game in the last election.
Remember this.
Said that Trump should withhold aid unless California fires the lesbian fire chief.
This man wants so much for gay people to be the cause of a natural disaster of death and destruction, to show how evil gay people are, to not help millions of people who have lost literally everything. $10 days, guys.
When California in a couple of weeks comes crawling back for federal assistance, Trump should say, listen, I'm not going to give you a dime unless you fire the lesbian Christians. James Woods, who has become a really good friend.
Fuck James Woods. I will never watch anything he's in ever again. I will never rewatch any of his films. This man is a menace Fuck him.
And said, hey, the fire truck pulled up to try to put out the fire in front of his home. Turns out there was no water.
That's not the firefighter's fault. That is called a drought, Charlie Kirk. That is called fucking assholes like James Woods overwatering their bullshit lawns and not conserving water, which has been a law in California since I was fucking born. And then want to blame firefighters for that.
But there is a lesbian fire chief. Which one would you rather have?
The fire chiefs don't control the water. Look, I'm sorry, this man is so fugly. Fugly, fugly, fugly. Which would you rather have? I'd rather have water, Charlie. Because when my house is burning or I call 911, I'm not asking, excuse me, are there lesbians answering this call? Can I have only white people come to my house? Is that what you're going to do, Charlie, when you have a heart attack one day? If a lesbian EMT is bringing you back to life once you're resuscitated, are you going to say, please kill me again because you're a lesbian? He doesn't make sense.
Water, lesbian fire chief.
Everyone wants water. But the lesbian fire chief has nothing to do. She didn't soak up the water. See, here's what he doesn't understand. Charlie, I'm going to let you in a little secret as lesbian here. A little lesbian secret. Lesbians can do this magic where we make things moister. You've probably never experienced that in your sexual exploits. If that the euphemism known as squirting has never occurred for the lady that you're attempting to pleasure, I can tell you all the lesbians right here can stand up and raise both hands to say, done that. So in that case, your argument against lesbians would be wrong since we make more water happen and we don't take it away. Thank you for coming to my lesbian TED Talk.
Lesbian fire chief, water.
Do those things cancel each other out?
No.
Like, did she drink all the water? Why can you have not water but the lesbian fire chief? I don't think this is making good logical sense, Charlie.
It doesn't make any sense.
I do not think you know very much about these fires. And Charlie, I'm not sure you're a great guy.
Also, apparently he's not an astrophysicist. So he couldn't figure out water.
Because actually, here's the thing we say about the fires right now, while they rage. I hope everybody's okay.
Yes.
I hope everybody stays safe. I hope the firefighters who are putting their lives in harm's way to help James Woods and all of the other people out there in California, I hope that everybody thanks them. I hope that people send aid where they can. And we all hope that everybody recovers. And as Americans, we are pulling for you, whether you are lesbian, black, or white. We hope that everybody does okay out there. And thank you to everybody who is fighting that fire. All right, guys. Sorry I ran you through that. I just had to say something about Charlie Kirk. I'll see you later.
Yeah. 10 days, guys. 10 days. 10 days until that thought process is the prevalent one in our government. Okay? We have to keep bringing awareness to this. We have to keep fighting it. We have to keep doing what Jimmy Carter would do. We need to fight this with love, respect. I got to figure that out, y'all. I got to figure that out. But that's what Jimmy Carter would do. And let's all try to do that a little bit more. We got 10 days, y'all. 10 days. Be ready. If you're in Southern California, be safe. I love you. And I will see you guys all next time. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Oh No America. I'm your host, Nora Ames. Hopefully this day has been informative, fun, and given you a little sparkle of America. Thank you to my mods, as always, for keeping things cool, chill. And if you guys want some of that sweet, sweet merch, hit us up at ohnomerica.com.
Current events and headlines that blow your mind. Only on Oh No America you'll find.